Hey, everybody. We are live at Paste Studios right now with John Smith, all the way from Somerset, England. John, thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, man.
Congratulations to you, because Hummingbird is out worldwide today on Commoner Records, your own label, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to hearing 4 songs off of the album right now. Can you tell us what you're going to start out with?
I'm going to start with the title track, Hummingbird.
All right.
All right. When I met her, she was just engaged. I was only 23. Left right when I said hello. I pursued her in my dreams. When I found the courage for to speak more than a word, she's dressed in green and wild as night, all like a hummingbird. She stole my heart some more each day, and she said, you should be mine. We married in her father's house beneath the autumn sky. Blissfully I watched her darting round and out of sight. I knew I could not hold on long. These hands are much too tight. She slips as she slides, and here she comes, there she flies. Hey, oh, she said she'd travel by my side unless death would do us part. We was in some crowded city street when stopped her beating heart. Gone before we made 1 year, like all good things she passed. Disappeared into the breeze, flew out for the last. Hey, oh. In these times of constant change, I've been holding on for you. You're the one whose affections I still crave, the one my world clings to. And these words of mine escape my mouth, travel without bounds, up through the clouds, then into space. Their run devotion sounds, I hear them. I know she slips as she slides, and as she comes, there she flies. If I could be with her again, I don't know what I would say. I will always know her by her shape between the night and day. She comes to me in glimpses now, fleeting as a word. She flashes bright and disappears, my darling, my darling.
All
Cheers.
right. Thank you, John.
Hey.
Can you talk a little bit about the arrangement process when you're putting the record together? You read that you wanted to make sure that you kept sort of production element. You wanted to keep as much out of the way between the song and the listener as possible. Can you talk a little bit about how specifically you did that and how you were able to ensure that there was the most direct path between the song and the people listening to it?
Well, we kept stripping away arrangements and extra instruments, just trying things out and then realising actually maybe the song doesn't need it and just pulling them back. The whole time going with this motto of less is more. And that kind of came from the desire to translate some of the traditional folk songs on the record, free of any baggage, any extra weight, because these songs have been alive and speaking for up to hundreds of years, you know. And it felt like a really minimal production would serve those songs. And actually, when you start going down that road, you start playing a lot more. You start considering every note a lot more intently, and then suddenly you can get a lot more out of one guitar and one vocal if you're not going to rely on a string arrangement or an electric guitar part or whatever. So I found that mentality just served each of the songs.
Well, you can get a lot more out of particular notes. You've been at this for quite a long time, and can transmit the idea of a more complex arrangement or a complex emotion in a more stripped down way than probably most anybody.
Well, thanks, man. I mean, when you take a folk song and you just decide that you're going to do it as simply as possible, then there's a lot of room for maneuver, but then it's kind of fun just to hold as much back as possible. I could have, on my last record, Headlong, which didn't come out over here, there's a guitar solo on every track. I just went for it. And on this one, there's actually very few guitar solos. I just thought, let the song speak for itself. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, can you tell us what is coming up second? If you're just joining us, internet, this is we're hearing 4 songs off of Hummingbird, which is out worldwide today. So again, congratulations.
Thanks,
and can you
man.
tell us what you're going to play second?
Yeah, I'm going to play "The Time Has Come," and this is an Anne Briggs song. This is my version of it, and it goes like this. That's not it. I'm just making sure I'm in tune. Suddenly feeling the pressure now. I know a couple of dozen people at home watching this thing,
Yeah, the comment section's all good so far. Everyone's stoked. Yeah.
He's not in tune properly. All right, here we go. Oh, my babe. Time has come for me to go. And tomorrow comes like yesterday. The autumn fades, our love away. Don't you think of me no more? I'm going to some foreign shore. wife. Don't you know the time has come for me to go?
Hey, thanks, man.
What a cool ending, man. I like that song a lot.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were so the video was cut to the close up on the fretboard, and the headstock quite a bit during that one. So this seems like a perfect time to talk about this wonderful, beautiful instrument that you're holding. Can you tell us a bit about the filed guitar that you're playing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been playing these guitars since 2006, and I walked into a guitar shop in London the first time, and I picked up a filed, and it was the best guitar I'd ever played, but there was no way I could afford it. And when I was touring with John Martin, we were heading up to Glasgow, and I stopped off in his factory unannounced in Penrith in the Lake District, and I just walked in and I said, I want one of your guitars, but I can't afford one. I think you should endorse me. What do you reckon? And he went, yeah, okay. And he built me a guitar, and I've owned about half a dozen of his instruments since then. I've still got I've got 3 acoustic guitars and 1 banjo that he's built, and they're just amazing guitars. It's a small factory, just 3 of them, building the most exquisite acoustic guitars in the country, to my mind. And this one is this is spruce top, and the back and sides are some unknown dark wood that was found in this plank was found in a derelict church by the folk singer Mike Waterson, and given to Roger, the guitar builder. And that was back in the 70s, and Roger was holding on to it. He built one for me and one for Richard Hawley. So we've both got these sibling guitars now. Yeah.
Well, it sounds amazing. It looks amazing. Thanks
It
for
feels
sharing
nice,
that
man.
story and all these songs with us today. We appreciate it.
Pleasure, man.
Can you tell us what's coming up third off of Hummingbird?
Absolutely. This is a strange and smoky traditional folk song that was found in Somerset, where I live. And this song is they reckon it's about 120 years old. And it's one of those ones, as soon as I heard it, I had to learn it and play it, straight away. And I was glad I caught it when I did, because I had a lot of fun recording it, And this is a strange little song. It's called Hares on the Mountain.
Sally, my darling, I wish I could wed you. Sally, my darling, I wish I could wed you. She smiled and replied, then you'd say I misled you. If young girls could sing like blackbirds and thrushes, if young girls could sing like blackbirds and thrushes, how many young men would go beating the bushes? If all the young girls were hares on the mountain, if all the young girls were hares on the mountain, how many young men would take guns and go hunting? Well, Sally, Sally, it's you I'd be kissing. Sally, Sally, it's you I'd be kissing. She smiled and replied, you don't know what you're missing. Yeah, yeah. If young men could swim like ducks on the water, if young men could swim like ducks on the water, how many young girls would undress and dive after? Oh, if all the young men were hares on the mountain, if all the young men were hares on the mountain, how many young girls would take guns and go hunting? If all the young men were hares on the mountain, if all the young men were hares on the mountain,
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Can we talk a little bit about the shows? I mean, you're going to be everywhere across the U.S. You're going to be across the U.K. and Europe. You've got a show tonight at City Winery with Peter Mulvey.
Yeah.
Please tell him that I still have his coffee cup, and I
will.
drink out of it regularly, and I appreciate it very much. Love Peter Mulvey.
Man
here.
loves his coffee.
Yeah, so there's East Coast shows through the end of March with Peter, and then you're back in the UK for a handful of shows in April.
Yeah.
Back here with Peter again in the Southeast all throughout May.
That's right.
And I'm not going to repeat every single tour date back to you right now. They're all up at johnsmith.com. That is actually how it is, John Smith.
Yep.
Man, hopefully everyone who's watching the stream right now gets a chance to check you out, because it's
thank you, man.
been a total pleasure to hear you sound check and to hear you do the session right in front of us here in this room. And I'm sure the internet is loving it too. So hopefully they get a chance to go out to a show, have a cocktail, watch you play.
Yeah, man. That's the dream.
And oh wait, that's not what I meant to talk about. What I meant to say is, since we are surrounded by this rock and roll history and all these tapes on the walls, pretty basic question, but can we talk about influences? Who are some of the artists who have really stuck with you either throughout your life, or who were you listening to more of while you were writing Hummingbird?
Well, I grew up on...
We talked about John Martin already, I know.
Sure, yeah. I was very fortunate. John Martin gave me my break in touring. Took me on tour for a couple of years, right before he passed, and that was how I got started on the touring circuit. But I was raised on, Clapton and B.B. King, and
how did you feel about that album, that the Riding with the King album?
Yeah, it had some nice moments on it. Yeah, man.
It's a diplomatic way to say that. Yeah. I enjoyed moments as well.
And Dire Straits, this.
Yeah.
So I was raised on guitar music, and then when I was about 11, my dad sat me down and played me Physical Graffiti, played me Kashmir. I just blew my mind. And then he got me into Burt Jansch. My brother sat me down and played me Nick Drake for the first time when I was about 16. Suddenly I knew about folk music, and that was kind of it. That was it for me, really. That's what I wanted to do, was play, auto-tuning fingerstyle guitar, and that was me.
Cool.
But with this record, I listened to my influences in that guitar world, but tried not to listen to it too much because I don't want to mimic anyone, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think you're making all the right decisions. I've enjoyed today's session very much.
Thanks, man.
Were I not checking out that Glenn Hansard show, I would absolutely be at the City Winery. Hopefully everybody who's checking it out and in New York is able to make it to the Loft at City Winery tonight. We've got a bonus song today. We've got a fourth song that you're going to play off of Hummingbird.
You know, and I just realised I could unmute my guitar for this one. I don't know what you feel about that in the control booth. I've had my I've had my tuner pedal on the whole time.
Bob?
I've only been touring for about 15 years. Do you want me to unmute it?
Yes, please.
I'm so sorry. Jet lag, Johnny. Sorry about that. How's that, man? You can hear the guitar now. All right. It's very professional to do that in front of countless millions of people.
I'm not listening to the mix, but I have no doubt that mic, that condenser mic, that pencil mic that's on it right now is picking it up beautifully.
That's
as well.
a nice one. Yeah. I think we're okay. What a fool. This is a song that I first heard by the great folk singer Whiz Jones. This is a American tune, actually. I think this goes back beyond the Stanley Brothers, who did a version of this. And in these strange and uncertain times in which we live, there's tremendous comfort to be found in old folk songs about death. And this is one of them. This is called Willy Moore.
Courted a lady fair. Her eyes were as bright as two diamonds in the night. Raven black was her hair. Courted her night and day. To marry they did agree. When they came to get her parents to consent, they said it would never be. Herself in Willy Moore's arm, oft times she'd done before. Little did he think as he held her that night, sweet Annie would see no more. Yes, just around the month of May, and a night I remembered so well. The very same night a body disappeared in ways no tongue can tell. Her friends came all around in the little brook before the cottage door. The body of sweet Anne is found, taken away by her weeping friends up to her parents' room. There she was dressed in a shroud of snowy white, laid in a lonely tomb. Never spoke, he just took to the road. From all his friends he did part. When I heard of him, he was in Montreal, Well, he died of a broken heart. Willy Moore was a king, he was scarce 21. Courted a lady fair. Her eyes were as bright as two diamonds in the night. Raven black was her hair. Raven black was her hair. Yeah. Raven black was her hair.
Thank you.
All right, John, thanks for taking the time to do this and make this part of your New York trip. We appreciate it very much.
Oh,
and
it's a
have a
total
great
privilege,
show
man.
have a great show at City Winery tonight with Peter Mulvey and all of the
Yeah.
dates that are announced all the way through August. I think there's dates up at johnsmith.com.
Yep.
And best of luck with Hummingbird. Congratulations on the worldwide release today. It's out in the world right now. So
Thanks, man.
thanks for sharing this music with us today. We appreciate it very much.
Such a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right.